Welcome to Courageous Conviction. Remember that Jeff and I record each Saturday 5 episodes. So please hit the like button, subscribe so you catch all 5 episodes. We usually start out with one theme or topic. We have to go down a lot of rabbit holes to really understand it. Some things are more sensitive than others right now, what's going on in the world. So hit the like button, subscribe, and let's jump into this video.
And we probably didn't get 3% of the state to put a 72-hour bag kit together. Right? They just didn't care. They don't want to because they don't understand. So it's not that they can't. They can because we created a 72-hour bag that was not that expensive that they could put together for about $100. If a really good one, for about $200. And you think, well, that's a lot of money for these people when their average salary is only $400 to $500 a month. Yeah. Yes, but every one of them have an iPhone. Sorry. They pay $700,000-$800,000 down there for a flipping iPhone. They all have iPhones, and they all have this great service so they can talk and chat. And they all have the run-of-the-mill speakers. Huh?
$800,000?
$800 to $1,000.
Oh, $800 to $1,000.
Yeah, $800 to $1,000. Sorry, clarify that. No, but that's what they pay down there for iPhones. They're a lot more expensive, right? And so the point being that it's a matter of priority. Can the poor still do it? You bet they can still do it, even more so than we can, because they're more accustomed to actually their gardens and processing foods. And we couldn't, even my stake president, I would go to his house and say, all right, president, what do you got? Well, I got right here. I got 1 month. I said, well, really good, stake president. You got 1 month food storage here, man. I love you dearly, but you need to be the example. And that's where it comes from. It comes from our leaders being example. Now, here's the other thing that took place, Jeff, that I had a problem with. And I was very voice first with the 70. And I was trying to inform them this is wrong because they didn't understand the government control in these areas. Can the government control the little farms? Well, no, you think. But just this last week in Oregon, the government in Oregon issued laws, cease and desist laws, that anybody who has a garden or a greenhouse that has a paved road to it is a commercial industry and is affecting global warming, and they have to cease and desist all of their activities of their farming and their gardening. That's a new law in the state of Oregon. Okay. So this is where it's going. This is already happening in Europe. So this is where it's coming. They're going to try to make our gardens even illegal for us. So don't pave it. Right. Yeah. You got to go there. Jeff, you got something there?
Yeah. Hold on. Take over.
I'm going to keep going here. So what I want to talk about here is the fact that are we able to do it? Yes. We're going to put all the excuses aside and really just accept the facts. We can do it. Now, we in the first world, I guess the advantage we would have is we do have more money to do it. So it's easier for us. We don't have to go out and plant it and grow it and then process it. And we can actually buy it in number 10 cans at different locations. I'll put a few down below. I'm not a big fan of Patriot Supply, and I only have to caution you Patriot Supply because I know of people that just got billing from Patriot Supply saying that they didn't pay, then got turnover collections. I don't know if that would ding their credit or not, but for simple things like $100 or something that they just got billed for without any proof and so forth. So I'm worried about Patriot Supply. Jury's out with them right now. I have bought from them in the past. I've gotten everything from them, but I also am aware of the fact of billings that go out just arbitrarily saying you owe us money, and then like one letter, and then they turn you over to a collection agency. So you be careful with Patriot Supply. There are other people out there who supply though, where you can buy, food storage. And that's more expensive that way. Or you could buy like a $3,000 freeze dryer or even a dehydrator. Just remember, a freeze dryer, you're going to be able to put your food away for 25 years, light rotation, and it's food you're used to eating. So you could cook it all up. You just have to have the water, right? So you're going to need that 2 gallons a day, maybe a little bit extra to add to your freeze dried foods because normal consumption for a person, 2 gallons a day with toiletry and things, bathing and things of that nature, right? So I just talked about that part, Jeff. So now what I want to do is I want to roll in this video with Connor Boyack because I couldn't do the video better. And like I said, I'm going to go organize a group and just go out and start sharing this with people because I think this is going to be so very important to be able to wake people up. Look, I always go back to this. I had this conversation with my bishop. I want to back up one time here before I go into conversation with my bishop here. What happened with those natives people in my stake that when we had the earthquake, we went outside with our bug out bag. I started to tell that story. And they were standing up in this, it was like the large and spacious building because there was like a U shape of 2-story, 3-story buildings. And we all lived together in this little compound of this family. that Campos family there. And one part of this Campos family was standing there looking and mocking at us. And because we were out there, the bugger bugs in our safety zone, we were away from all the telephone poles. If things were to fall, the buildings would fall. We were in an area with our little baby who was only like a year old. You know, we grabbed her, had our bug bags, I had the water in my hands. Wife had the baby, and she had her backpack. I had my backpack, and we're standing there at 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the morning, whatever it was. This major earthquake hits Ecuador, and we're standing there. We're the only ones outside. Everybody else is still in their building, shaking and rocking, looking at us, and they're pointing at us and laughing at us, right? And it was like, well, I thought, wow, this is like Lehi's dream. I'm on the right path, and I'm being laughed at by members of the church. These were all members of the church. All of them were. And they came down there, well, ridiculous. Well, how exaggerated Brother Erick is. And I've always been accused of that. And yet everything I've tried to warn them of came to pass. It all happened. They have they even had, when this whole epic of being locked down took place, man, none of them had any food. Within the first weeks, they were done. And then the referral was the supermarket. So I want to go back to that. So here's what happened. They laughed at us. They came downstairs. They said, so what's this? Why do you have all this? I said, well, this is part of our food service. We've been trying to teach you in the stake for the last couple of years. We don't need that. Why? Because we got yours. They said, the church leader said that you have to share with your friends too. So we just know that you're going to have to share with us if you want to be a good saint. And if not, then you'll be held accountable for it.
Well,
that's not how it goes. Parable 10 virgins. I'm not sharing oil. I'm sorry. And, I heard even Connor Boyack going to say, well, yes, okay to share. I had extra toilet paper. Well, how do you know you had extra toilet paper? You don't know when it's going to end. You don't know when that disaster is going to end. It could go on for a month, 2 months, 10 years. You don't know if you have extra, right?
Well,
so my feeling on that.
So you can barter. You can send, hey, I need some red meat, or I need some moose meat, or I need,
Exactly.
I got a lot of toilet paper. So what do you got, to give back in return? So that's how that kind of works out. And of course, I think that there's an element of have to be guided by the Spirit when we're in those situations. Maybe somebody's food storage was stored improperly, or some kind of, if it's an earthquake, at no fault of theirs, they lost some food storage because of things can happen. I think that we all have to try to be open-minded there and give what we can, but at the same time, hey, the 10 virgin story was there for a purpose, because people that aren't prepared are going to be unprepared in a lot of ways, and that can be physically unprepared, in this case, as well.
And apparently the parable 10 virgins is more of a spiritual type.
But that's why I emphasize the physical kind. I think it can cross that other.
But hold on, and Connor Boyack's going to cross it in this video. Yeah. He's going to show you, because the Lord's going to say everything is spiritual in my eyes. There is no temporal. Everything's spiritual. So everything we do has a spiritual principle to it. So therefore, the oil then becomes spiritual, right? So it does. Now, I agree 100% with you, Jeff. We need to use a spirit, because we got to be cautious, because we don't know how long it's going to last, and we need to barter. You're not going to have money. We're already talking about going digital with the money, right? A complete control of our money, and that's going to even help the government move along any type of great reset they want. Remember the 2030 agenda? You will own nothing and be happy. Our homes are being taken from us right now. We're being invaded. Home right now, the whole idea of squatters is hit a high in the United States it's never hit before, right? We're losing our inheritance, which is part of the prophecy that would take place, because we as a nation have broken our covenant, and we're going to face those effects now, those consequences. So I want to get back to what President Hinckley said, a 1-year food supply, because it's going to be a 1-year cleansing. That's going to clean the church. And I would say we're at a point where I think the church is about to be cleaned. We need a cleansing. And that's this whole confusion is coming from not being cleansed and trying to water down the gospel. Now, that being said, Jeff, I am very passionate about this, because I am an avid Boy Scouter. We talked about that, not to open that can of worms. We can go back to that later. And the whole idea that I liked about Boy Scouting that stuck in my head from a kid was be prepared. That's a commandment of God. Yeah. And anything that's going to support that commandment of God, we should be supporting, right? And I kept all those merit badge books. I got like 100 of them. And I've got all the programs, because I was a very, very active leader in the Boy Scouting. I was actually the assistant district commissioner in Boy Scouting for a number of years. So I kept all these things, just in case the program went awry, we lost it, and I could still teach my youngest children. So my daughter now is 9, and she's starting what we have our little martial art program, where I train them in martial arts. And I want her, she started younger, but because of our move, she had to stop. My other boys were second-degree black belts they were on first-degree black belt by her age, right? Why do I want to teach them this? That's all part of being prepared. Look what's coming right now. If we lose those gun rights, how are you going to defend yourself if you don't have any type of self-defense training?
Yeah, I got my kids in martial arts right now and boxing.
And people say, well, it's violent sport.
Yeah.
Violence is on the streets, and violence is coming across the border every day.
A member of the church, I do the boys' activity things, and
I thank you for being with us on Courageous Conviction. Remember, there's 5 episodes each week that we put out. We have to go down a lot of rabbit holes, so stay with us, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and don't miss tomorrow's episode on Courageous Conviction.